The Hammer Effect Tour releases in just a couple days, and here's everything you need to know before you pick one up yourself. The Effect Tour is a solid and asymmetrical bowling ball coming from Hammer Bowling, but it is nothing like the OG Effect. This ball has a different core, different cover stock, nothing close to the original, so don't compare it at all to the Effect for rule number one. Now, looking into the ball, this thing has a much lower RG, much lower differential, and I think a slightly lower intermediate differential compared to the original Effect, which then makes this ball just like the Hammer Envy Tour. For all the number nerds out there, this ball comes in with a 2.47 RG, 0.036 differential, and a 0.012 intermediate differential with a cover stock of Tour V3. Now, what do all those numbers and everything I mentioned at the beginning truly mean? This ball is going to be early. It's going to hook early. It's going to be very smooth down lane. So on the screen, you're seeing videos of me actually throwing this ball. I was luckily able to throw it early. This is the ball that won in the voting that I asked everybody to do on all of my social medias. Thank you to everybody who voted. And we were able to drill up an Effect Tour, and we have thrown it on a house shot multiple times now. And this ball is super, super unique. So like I mentioned, this ball is kind of like the Envy Tour. It's a little bit later and a little bit sharper than the Envy Tour, but otherwise it's nearly identical. And those two balls are nearly identical to the Obsession Tour from a couple of years ago. They all have the same general idea. They're trying to do what that tour name is. So for anyone who isn't aware, the tour name on a bowling ball generally means that the differential is knocked down, the RG is knocked down, and they want this ball to be early and they want it to be smooth down lane. The goal is that this ball is going to be smooth enough that guys on tour can make it hook a lot more or a lot less, and it can be very controllable for harder shots. So the main reason is for hard sport shots, and the Hammer Envy Tour is arguably the best sport shot ball on the market today. Now, looking at this Effect Tour, this ball does fit between the Envy Tour and the Obsession Tour. And the one unique thing that a lot of people didn't really hit on when they talked about the Envy or the Obsession Tour is that they were pretty good house shot balls. So all the shots you're seeing on screen are from a house shot. This is from my home center in Owatonna, Minnesota. This is just very typical house shot. Decent amount of mils, 42-ish feet, nothing too crazy. But what you're watching is that this ball tends to pick up on friction and just kind of labor out and just roll into the pocket. And if you miss in, the ball is strong enough where it's actually going to pick up and go through the pins the right way. This house shot's very interesting because shiny balls usually don't look that good. You usually need smoother equipment, and this ball really hits that well. Now, the one interesting thing with this bowling ball is where it fits in the Hammer arsenal. So Hammer has an awesome bowling arsenal right now. They have the Black Widow 3.0, the Extreme Envy, the Pure Envy, the OG Effect. They have a Scorpion Low Flare. They have a Hazmat Solid, and on and on and on. They are all incredible bowling balls right now. They're killing it this year. But where does this Effect Tour truly fit between all of those? So from everything I'm seeing, I saw this to hook around the same spot as a Black Widow 3.0, maybe because of the surface prep, it was a little bit sooner. The Effect Tour comes at 1500 grit on the surface, where most other bowling balls, especially dull ones, come at about 2000. So this thing is very, very dusty out of box, which makes it pick up earlier and hook earlier. So this thing in general is around the same spot as a Black Widow, but it flares so much less that it's just so much smoother. It is much less violent down lane, which is a really good thing for people who have high axis rotation or spin it a lot, because usually if you spin the ball too much, your ball is very aggressive when it starts hooking. This ball really can't get that aggressive. I did get it to pick up and be aggressive at certain points, but I had to really manipulate my hand position to get that to happen. Now, what you're seeing it compared against is actually a different brand. We're looking at the Rotogrip Optimum Idol. This was a really unique comparison for me personally, because we can always see what the hammer balls do against each other from a lot of different bowlers, from a lot of staffers specifically, which is really good. It's good to see where the ball fits in the line of that brand. But the question is, where does it fit with the other brands? So the Effect Tour and the Optimum Idol are trying to do the same thing to a certain degree. They both want to hook early. They both want to be smooth down lane. And my Optimum Idol is incredibly smooth down lane. The minute I get a little too far inside, this ball is terrible. This ball doesn't do anything. And the Effect Tour, I feel like, is going to be pretty similar, where it's money when you play it further right, but the minute you start moving too far left, I didn't think it'd be that good. However, a few of the videos you see, this effect tour really picks up from left, which is shocking. And my Optimum Idol is a little more than I expected it to also, which is a really good sign. But in general, I'm seeing the Optimum Idol to be a little bit later and also a little bit sharper down lane compared to the effect tour. You can tell the effect tour wants to have a little more oil on the lane, where the Optimum Idol is okay with a little bit less. Because of this and because of other reviews that I've seen, I'm putting this effect tour in between the strong and smooth slot and the medium and smooth slot. I know I just came out with a video that showcases that the effect tour is in the strong smooth slot. I still stand by that most of the time. I think it can fall down into the medium smooth slot if you put a little less surface on it, so you shine it a little bit, or you drill it a lot weaker. So I drilled mine pretty strong, because when you have a ball that is a tour level bowling ball, you can drill it really strong and it still will not flare much or be that aggressive. So that's what I did with this ball. And as you can tell, it's not insanely aggressive. You can watch it slowly roll up to the pocket. And because of this, I think it can fall to the medium smooth slot in the right hands. If you're highly speed dominant, this ball will definitely fall in a medium smooth slot, because I would rather have you have an Extreme Envy or a Black Widow compared to the effect tour, because they're going to be more aggressive down the lane. Overall though, this effect tour is in a weird middle spot, kind of where the Envy tour also sits. So in general, who should really have this bowling ball? I think if you're bowling sport shots, you need some kind of tour level bowling ball, whether that be the effect tour, the Envy tour, maybe even an IQ tour, even though that's so much weaker. Things like a Tour Dynamics from other companies. You need something smooth, you need something slow, you need something that's going to give you a little bit of miss room where you're still hitting the pocket. Doesn't mean you're carrying all the time, you're still hitting the pocket. Now, one final thought I have about this ball is a really, really good 1-2 combo, which might be the best in bowling, is going to be the effect tour into the Scorpion low flare. So I threw this ball at League, and what happened is I threw the effect tour for a while, really, really liked its ball reaction, but then it started dying because it was hooking too early and was too smooth down lane. So I had to move too far left because the oil was going away and I was pulling out a lot of the oil. However, the effect tour didn't like that much angle, especially with that little oil on the lane. So then what I did is I balled right down to a Scorpion low flare, and the Scorpion low flare picked up right where the effect tour left off. I think I had a 280 in my third game with the low flare when the effect tour just wasn't enough. I was able to stand right where I was with the effect tour, throw it the exact same way, and the Scorpion low flare would just pick up a little later down lane, but be a little bit sharper. So if you're someone who really likes the low flare, this effect tour might be for you. For anyone who wants this ball, it does release on November 21st. This ball coming in around $190 from a lot of bowling retailers and local pro shops. Is that a good price for a ball of this strength? I think it's pretty much in line with every other ball at this point, at this strength level. It's going to be a little bit cheaper than some of the Motive and Storm stuff, but about the same as all the Brunswick stuff. So keep that in mind before you go and pick it up. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy this real review. I will try to have a few more of these coming out with new bowling balls. Unfortunately, I do not get any bowling balls early. I have to work through the pro shop that I work at. Shout out Champions Pro Shop in Owatonna, Minnesota. Go check out Owatonna's location or Mankato's location of Champions Pro Shop. Just opened up recently. If you're a Minnesota or Iowa bowler, we have some of the best pro shop guys in the state and in the Midwest, so come check us out. It would be a great time. We'll be able to fit you and make sure you have no hand problems after you come to us. Otherwise, let me know what you guys think of these reviews. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching.